Okay, so thanks for your introductions and thank you for having me today. It's really my honor to be the first speaker here at TEDxMarie. Hello, do. And let's start our speech with a question first. What do you think is the most common fear among people? Height, insects, or public speaking? These are the fears that we typically think of, right? And I used to only think about this fear too when somebody asked me these questions, until one day I discovered a fear that is often overlooked but very common in our daily lives. But let me tell you the story first. 2 months ago, I was ordered to attend a startup pitch competitions where competitors had at least 6 months, like half a year, to prepare their innovative products. And one presenter stood out with the groundbreaking inventions, capturing the attention of not only the judge, but also the audience. But when the judge asked, "Have you ever surveyed a customer for feedback?" her response was revealing. I focused solely on perfecting my product because I feared that there wasn't enough time for me. That seems like a normal story, right? Even a little bit tedious. But here lies the conflict. She had time to refine her product, but not to understand her customer, the very heartbeat of her startup success. So, what do you think is the real problem here? What is the problem of time itself? Not at all. It wasn't the problem of time itself, but it was her own mindset, her fear overshadowing the crucial insight that could propel her project forward. But the thing is that this fear doesn't just affect startups like girl in my story. It seeps into our daily lives and influencing our thoughts and actions. For example, imagine waking up every day with an acute awareness that time is passing away, each second ticking down like a countdown to an unknown end, and in a rush to beat the clock, we find ourselves gripped by the relentless fear of time passing away. And this fear is known as Chronophobia. So, what exactly it is? Chronophobia is characterized by the anxiety or the unease when people think about the future or the inevitability of time. For example, it is the hidden anxiety around birthdays, unease when planning for the future, or difficulty adhering to schedule. And according to the Cleveland Clinic, these triggers, like schedule or deadlines or other milestones that mark the passage of time, spark concern about not having control over the fact that time is passing by, or feeling that time is immense or overwhelming. But the thing here is that chronophobia is more than just a fleeting worry about the future. It is a profound and insidious force that infiltrates our thoughts and actions. This pervasive fear doesn't just lurk in our mind. It creates hidden dangers that we often fail to recognize. So what are exactly these hidden dangers? Before that, I want to show you the self-sabotaging circle, written by Kathy Rosner and Patricia Hummels. And here is the Prunophobia Circle. And as you can see, both circles originate from a negative mindset. Self-doubt in the case of self-sabotaging, and steal time in the case of chronophobia. And this shared foundations leads to avoidance and procrastinations, which in turn hinder progress and cause missed opportunities. And ultimately, both cycles prevent individuals from achieving their full potential and living their fulfilling lives. But why do I say so? Why do I say that chronophobia can prevent you from achieving your full potential? Because, confirmed by P.J. Lab, a doctor of philosophy and psychology, chronophobia can compel individuals to shy away from their long-term commitments or future planning. It creates an illusion in our mind that, oh, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that, or I'm just too late. But whenever this question springs to my mind, I will always ask myself, By which point, do I allow myself to give up even before having a shot? Or how do I know that I would not have time? And trust me, we can never tell whether you have time or not. The only thing you can be certain is that if you remain idle, if you don't try at least once, you can never unlock your potential. So as a result, chronophobia doesn't just rob us of time, it steals our potential, leaving our dreams unfulfilled and our aspirations incomplete. It can be likened to an invisible puppeteer which pulls our string of actions, leading us to avoidance and procrastinations. Or it also can be likened to a shadow which obscures our path forward, imprisoning us in a cycle of missed opportunities. And it is sure can be sure that each moment deferred under the weight of time passage will intensify the stress and foster stagnations. And as we grow generations, we want to let things happen that way. Okay, so let's move on. Before sharing you two pieces of news, one good and one bad, which one do you prefer first? Good or bad? Let's start with the bad news first. Although chronophobia have existed long before COVID-19, the pandemic has significantly exacerbated this fear for many people. According to a study by researchers at University College London, before the pandemic, chronophobia disproportionately affected elderly people or prison inmates. But just as the lockdown detected, many of us were also experiencing grip at our own substantial importance and the ghost of plan that could have been. During the pandemic, we experienced disruption to our daily routines, which can distort our perceptions of time. But after the pandemic, when the routines returns or stabilize, we may feel like time is moving faster than ever. And a girl also in a study reported that I felt like I've wasted a year. And whenever I look in the mirror, I just see more lines, which is just terrifying. And I believe that this is not her own story, but our common situations, which is just intensify the stress and the worry. But that is the bad news. But just as the darkest night had to give way to the dawn, so too does the bad news have a counterpart. In our midst of struggles, there's always a glimmer of hope. And the good news is that the cycle of chronophobia just mirrors the cycle of success. So it is not merely the trap that we can fall into, but a challenge that we can overcome. But one of the things and what makes success different, it is belief. Why do I say that it's belief that makes success different from all of you, not only chronophobia? Because there's a part of our brain called the frontal lobe, which enables us to imagine what's most likely going to happen in the future. The only problem is that our brain cannot tell the difference between the reality and what we are constantly worried about. And if we begin or continue to convince ourselves that something is likely going to happen, we might be stuck in our own perception of future, even though it is not happening at all. So in this case, only perspective would take us out by imaginations and worry. The question lies here again is that how to create such a perspective. And this is what I want to show you today. The first step to overcome this fear is to ask yourself only one question. How many of your worries have ever become true? Or how many of your worries or the worst scenarios that you have ever imagined have ever turned into reality? And this kind of reflection will show you that most of the worries that you have ever imagined have ever scratched the surface of reality. So the only thing you should focus on is not your fear, but your goal and your aim. The next step is to practice patience. Think back to the goal we mentioned earlier in our story. Despite months of preparations, her product fell short because she skipped essential steps. And also with us, no matter how much time is invested, if we don't embrace the full process, all of our efforts are rendered meaningless. So never become hasty when somebody around you achieves such admirable accomplishments. Never say that you do not have time to do anything or do something. The shortest way to achieve your goal is just go towards it, because at the heart of perseverance is actions. I remember someone once said, all you need to know is that if you try, you're not gonna die. You're only gonna learn something. And when you learn something, it removes a little bit the feeling of uncertainty and insecurity that chronophobia causes. So trust in your journey, for these are the true markers of success. The final step I want to mention here today is that to rewrite our relationship with time. View it not as a fall to be feared, but as a canvas upon which we can paint our dreams and aspirations. I know that sometimes chronophobia may cause shadow over your lives with imaginations and worry. Within this shadow lie profound opportunities for growth and transformations. So embrace each fleeting moment not with fear, but with courage and purpose. Together, let us seize the power of now, reclaim our presence, shape our future with resilience and grace. For in the embrace of future, we discover not limitations, but our limitless potential. Each moment is a brushstroke. Each second, an opportunity to shape your destiny. By viewing it as an ally to propel you forward, you can transform fear into fuel, uncertainty into possibility. And just one last thing, remember that time is the most valuable currency that you have ever possessed. So spend it wisely and with purpose. Together, let's transform the fear of time into a celebration of every moment. Let's transform chronophobia into a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Thank you.